G'day guys and welcome back to the JFBS SuperCoach channel. And today we're going to go through the best valued / mid-priced options in the forward line for AFL SuperCoach 2026. If you haven't checked out the defender, midfield and ruckman ones, please check it out. I reckon they'll be worth it as well. You can check it out after it, pause this one, go to the other ones and have a look. But today we're going to go with forwards. These are guys who are not above 500k, 400, like 450, 500k, and none of these guys are rookies. So there's a lot of options at forward line. This video is going to go for a bit longer compared to the other three. So strap yourselves in. You've got a lot of options. Remember that there are rookies to also, put into perspective as well. You're not going to fit all 6 or 8 people in this forward line here, but just having a perspective, like I'm throwing a thought to you guys. Maybe you guys can go, oh, I didn't think about it, or I forgot about this guy now that he's mentioned all these names. I'm going to put him in there. I'm just going to be throwing names at you and that they might be decent for next year. So I've kind of given up on the whole scrolling thing but from highest to lowest, how I've done it is Sam Draper. So obviously moving to Brisbane over the off season, him and Oscar Allen have been fully training after their season-ending injuries last year. I was really high on him until I heard that Darcy Fort and Sam Draper might go 50-50 in the ruck. If it was 80-20, I would be jumping on Draper, pause, but I'd be jumping on the Draper train. Is what I meant to say. Like at 396k, he averaged 90. Where is he? Yeah, 91.6 points. He really should be just under 500k with those averages. He could potentially be a primo forward as well if Brisbane plays the right cards and plays him as the primary ruck. I think he will average more than Darcy Fort, but look, I wouldn't go super high on him this early. You've just got to wait till preseason, watch the preseason games as well, have a real close look at Sam Draper and Darcy Fort ruck minutes and see how they go there. Next guy here, I think this guy was on my he was on my 11 locks for the season is Sam Flanders. 396k. He's probably equivalent this year of the Jack McRae and Bailey Smith of last year, where he's just under 400k, just under 400k. He's obviously been out positioned by Gold Coast players. He was their half-backer. Then they brought in Rioli and Noble. They couldn't find him where to put him. They already had a really solidified midfield, nowhere to put them there. It was the same with Fiorini and Ainsworth. So they all just stuck them at on the wing or forward half, which forward half players don't get the ball as much, which is what happened to Flanders. But now that he's gone to St Kilda, it's him and McRae, in my opinion. If I go to St Kilda midfielders, it's really him and McRae who have got the full license to be in there every centre bounce. Same with Marcus Windhager, same with Bradley Hill. He might be playing more wing, though. Mason Wood's on the wing. They played Garcia quite a bit last year. Wilson's on the wing. And then guys like Travalia, Boxall and Clark just kind of moving around that midfield. But I think definitely Sam Flanders is a really good option for this year. He's going to be, in my opinion, he's going to be a keeper for the whole year. And a keeper at 396k is something that I would definitely jump onto. Now, when I made this video originally, I was more thinking of these are some names to really put out there, and there's a lot at forward line. Charlie Curnow, obviously, I think when he was at his best, which was 2-3 years ago, he was averaging around the 90s, and he's at 377k. He's going to be the main forward at Sydney. He's going to be liking it a bit more than Carlton, I believe. He won't be screamed across the fence if he misses like Ben Mackay or Harry Mackay, sorry, but I reckon it's just going to be one. I feel like he's going to break out into his Brownlow medal form. Hopefully, he doesn't get too injured. He was kind of not used to his fullest potential. He'll be the guy at the I don't know. He'll be like the new Buddy Franklin. He's going to be he was obviously the biggest forward since Buddy, which is only a couple of years. But Sydney have really filled in that hole, that forward, that key forward role where they've got their superstar key forward there, and I think Kerno will really excel. But I just don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Oh, excuse me. Um, yeah, like I definitely have Draper and Flanders over Kerno, but it's also not the worst option to go for. You want to go a bit risky. Next guy, Nick Watson. So earlier on, he was playing a bit of midfield towards the back end of last year, just a couple centre bounces, I think, by memory. He's been training with the midfield group as well, kind of providing a bit of spark coming from the centre bounces. So I reckon 351k. It's a great option if he's going to be inside the mid, maybe kind of that Dylan Moore option. Dylan Moore, the only thing with Moore is that he had games where he scored 50. Well, he had games where he scored 130. And I feel like Nick Watson would kind of be in that similar category because I kind of like Watson and Moore as, they're really good competitors. They're both small, but yeah, what I'm trying to say is that because Hawthorn's got a bit of not a hole, but I guess not, when you look at it on paper, you've got Newcomb, Day, Ward goes in there, Nash. Like these aren't like A tier names in my opinion. This is like in Hawthorn's midfield is very like a B, like a B plus B, pushing A minus, where the top 8 teams like Adelaide's got an A, like a Adelaide, Brisbane. I think Carlton's got a better midfield than Hawthorn. Collingwood's probably a bit worse, or probably the same as Hawthorn. Freo, Gold Coast, Geelong, GWS. I don't want to say North Melbourne. Port Adelaide could. Sydney, Dogs. Like, I've just named about 10 teams who've got a better midfield than Hawthorn. And there's a couple that are pretty even with them. So I feel like what I'm trying to say is that Watson, if he's playing in the middle, I reckon he's not bad for 350k. All right, I'm going to stop talking about him. This is going to be very interesting. Jordan De Goey, 321k, only played the 9 games, got the mid-forward DPP option. He did not go in. Why did you not? Is it because I put him in the midfield? All right. So 320k, very injury prone last year. I don't know how to feel about it. There's a lot of these guys like, De Goey. We've talked about Parrish in the midfield video, and there's going to be a guy like Treloar, which we'll be talking about next. These guys who are in the back end towards their career, getting a couple more injuries, but kind of looking back in the past going, wow, they were a great player. But I feel like it's kind of too hard to pass up a De Goey at 320k or a Treloar at 310k, which we might as well just bring him up at the moment. We'll get to Treloar in a second, but De Goey just goes in the middle. He plays that forward role. I reckon he's got a more secure mid role than Treloar, and that's really hard to say about Treloar. But look, 321k, I reckon it's a pretty decent option for De Goey. But you just can't have too many of these guys who are going to be injury prone. If you're going to have De Goey, I think you can't have Treloar, and it's vice versa. Whereas I think in the midfield, I'm definitely going to be having a look at Young, Florent, and Parrish and see out of those 3 who I want to keep as my second bid pricer there. But with the forward line, I think you could probably get away with maybe 1 or 2 more extra, but you don't want too many because you've obviously got to fit in Sheasel somehow. You need to bring in Isaac Rankin, Petrarca as well. Like those are your main 3 primo forwards. And then the other 3 are just Flanders as well. So you've got Flanders, Sheasel, Rankin, Petrarca. That's 4 guys. Who are going to be the last 2? Is it De Goey? Is it Treloar? Is it a guy that comes from the midfield down to the forward line? I don't know. Would have definitely been Nick Martin if he was not injured this year. I'm super disappointed. Like they would have probably been arguably the easiest five to pick from um, in the most recent years of like primo forwards. But going back to the gully, you just can't have too many of these guys. Trelaw, he's kind of it's hard to say this, but he's kind of getting pushed out of that midfield. The midfield he once tried left Collingwood to go to, like you got Bont, Liver, Ed Richards. He just killed it last year. He just came in like a wrecking ball. I don't know. Did he win the best and fairest for the Dogs? I might be wrong, might be right, but he had a breakout season. He was great. So I think um, Treloar trying to get into that midfield mix is going to be hard unless he comes off the bench, and then you've got Matt Kennedy who swings in when two of them are on the bench coming up from half forward. You've got Bailey Williams who's on the midfield. You've got Fraser who also comes through. Sanders. It's going to be really hard to accommodate a lot of these guys. Sam Davidson comes from the wing. No, they played Riley Garcia a bit. James Harms. It's weird to see that he's a midfielder. But yeah, going back to Treloar, you've just got to be guaranteeing that he's going to be playing every game because at 311, if he goes back to what he was there, that's your sixth primo there. You don't really need to worry about it because at 311k, that is beautiful. Same with DeGoey, but we can't have nice things all the time. So just keep an eye out with Treloar and DeGoey, the forward guys who are kind of injury prone. But yeah, next one we've got kind of in that same bracket with DeGoey and Treloar is Brent Daniels. I loved him in 2024. I thought like he was one of my favourite players at the Giants. Very injury prone last year, only playing 6 games, 61 point average, which was a bit crap. He's at 300k. If he can stay healthy, just like Treloar and DeGoey, going to be saying this a lot. If he stays healthy, it is so worth it to bring him in because he has such a high impact to the game with his tackling ability. He's a good decision maker. It just really depends on his averages this year. All right, well, let's get rid of a couple. Let's just get rid of a few guys here. Because I am talking about a lot of people, unfortunately. All right, this one's interesting. I don't think a lot of people have so hear me out with this. Cooper Harvey. You're probably wondering, why do I have Cooper Harvey in this list? Well, last year, I'll go back to Harvey. 7 games. He played more forward, and I think they experimented him bringing down back, and they're going to as well. Now that Colby McKercher is going to be playing more midfield, it seems, hence why he's not a lock in my team anymore. Cooper, they think that Cooper Harvey's the guy who's going to come off halfback. And if that's the case, I don't care if I'm paying 200k for a guy that's going to be averaging, well, how much did he average last year? 45. If he even averages 65 or 70, like I am still going to take it because he's still going to make you money. But there's the potential of him scoring 101 week at a very low price like that, and he just spikes up in price and it gets up to around 350k, 400k. That's when you sell high on Cooper Harvey. So I'm kind of intrigued of how it's going to go. Definitely the preseason games are going to be a one to watch for North Melbourne. I'm definitely going to be trying to see how that goes with them. But Cooper Harvey, keep an eye out for him. He could be the next high averaging halfbacker for North Melbourne. As we've known in the past with Sheasel, Caleb Daniel, and Colby McKercher. Who knows? Maybe Cooper Harvey's the guy. Next on the list, we have got someone that I feel like no one has ever talked about so far. To be fair, I haven't really watched that many other SuperCoach content creators, only a very select few, and I haven't seen Ugo Hagen yet. 214k, if he's playing all preseason, I would probably want to see him play both preseason games to get a good feel of AFL level again. 214k, he'll be the guy that goes up He'll be their half forward. So he'll be going up the ground, getting marks, and then, kicking it long and forward. I reckon he's not a terrible option, Ugelhagen. I've got this guy as a question mark. Taylor Adams. I mean, it's kind of similar with guys that you're like, oh, he was like, look at those averages. That's what he could be. It's probably not him anymore. So I'm probably going to stick away from Adams. Just imagine if it was him 4 years ago, that price would have been something else. Next guy, Mateus Philippou, pretty similar with a lot of forwards in this video, injury prone last year. Gets a go in the midfield. He's got a bit of grunt and attitude with him, which is good. So I'm really hoping that he stays healthy this year. He's a genuine option for me to have him in my team. So I think keep an eye out on those St Kilda guys. There is a few that I'm talking about. Who am I thinking of? Who is McCarthy? Lincoln McCarthy, probably. Probably similar. They've lost Archie, Brisbane, 170k. I'm not sure. He's coming off 2 season-ending injuries, so it's probably going to be slow. I'm going to be saying no to Lincoln McCarthy. Like I said, it's just a name that I've thrown out. Liam Henry, very injury-prone last year as well, 160k. He's got forward option. You think he's a wing potential at 160k? Not too bad. You just can't have too many of these St Kilda guys, unfortunately. Because the next guy I wanted to talk about was Max King. Once again, very injury prone like these other St Kilda players, and didn't play last year. But at 150k at his at what he can do at such a, he's not like super young, but he shouldn't be getting this injured so often this easily. I reckon he's like a decent option too. I think the most you can have is 2 St Kilda guys. If you can push one of them into the midfield, that's great. Or have them as your flex, but you've just got to be mindful of getting rid of them. And hopefully they can, because they don't have their buy around until round 4, I believe. Yes, so they've got 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. So they've got 2 price rises potentially, then you can trade out of them. Or keep them if you want. Cool. Next guy on my list. Sid Draper. Could he be the potential Dan Curtin of last year where he was a little bit disappointing? He did come off the bench a lot and was the sub. 23.3 average wasn't great. I reckon he could easily do better. Got 2 more. Leonardo Lombard, or any kind of small Gold Coast forwards. We can have a look at them. Anyone that's like jumping at me? Rogers potentially, but Lombard, I reckon, with the loss of those Gold Coast forwards and kind of forward wing guys, I reckon a guy like Lombard, 119k, is pretty decent. In my opinion, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for these Gold Coast forwards / wingers this season, and I reckon they're such a deep team, Gold Coast, which is really annoying. And I think Lombard could be an option where he plays or starts each game for them. Last guy on my list. Okay, he is not because I filtered it to Gold Coast. That's why. Oh, I am slow. Liam Reedy. So kind of spoke about him in the ruck video if you haven't checked that out. I don't know what Carlton are doing with their ruck situation. I'm super duper hoping that they are doing Reedy. Even if they do a 50-50 split at 119k, where he's playing forward, he's saying that he's trying to work his forward craft, so he could be that potential second guy, second tall forward at Carlton, replacing Curnow. Big shoes to fill, I know. But if Pitnet gets injured or Pitnet's just not up to the AFL standard anymore, not that I think he isn't, but Liam Reedy is probably the perfect option for you, because then you could go with, for example, 2 primo rucks, and then you've got Kalani White, which I'm just going to move my recorder here. And there you go. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you saw my video, you have Nick Bryan here, Bang. You got 5 rucks. One of them's not. He's going to be your option to use as a loop, but that's fine. Going back to Liam Reedy, I reckon he's a decent option. He's going to be he's been in my initial team so far, 119k potential ruck, even 50-50 ruck. I reckon he's definitely in. I'll just go through the forwards again, make sure that I haven't missed anyone. Dylan Moore, don't think he's going to be worth it. Zach Bailey, I kind of mentioned the midfield one is an interesting option. It's kind of good that he's got forward option. Shea Bolton, I would stay clear away from. Danger as well, goes into the midfield. He doesn't have an impacting like SuperCoach score like he did in his prime. Nowhere near. Joel Frazier's interesting. Other guys. Anyone else that I'd like to talk about? Sanders probably going to say no. Pepper, he did me wonders last year. He was such a great pickup for me at the start of the year. Is there anyone else? Will Hayward, he'll have a higher average of 68, I reckon, but not by much. A lot of options here. So many forward options. Is that Ainsworth? Ben Ainsworth would be interesting, maybe. Would be interesting where Carlton places him in that best 23. But as I'm scrolling down, I really like Lawler, and I'm hearing good things from training camp, how he's just like so much better than last year, apparently. But I don't know if his disposal impact is going to be good because last year was averaging a 55. And I mean, I prefer these type of players where they're not getting as much disposal, but they're more damaging as a player. So I think that's what Sam Lawler is definitely. I would love to have him on my team and just have it like, just a little cheeky punt on him and having him there, but I don't know. As I'm scrolling down, I can't really see many options. Taj Hotton's interesting. Kind of got him with a lot of injuries, and he was pretty fit and available after a couple of games in the I nearly said the G League. Why am I keep referencing the NBA? The VFL. Connor Butterick was another guy I was going to mention. He's got forward option, but I thought he was a defender. Well, they could be playing him defense, potentially, because there's a bit more of a hole in, the Dogs when it comes to their key backs. Not a bad option if he is a key back. I'm not too sure. This is horrible. I should know this. Uh, 175. He's not a key back at all. So I'm going to say no. Don't bring him in. Do not bring him in. Any last guys? Cody Waitman, I did originally have on my list, but now didn't play a game last year. Hopefully he's super fit this year. 226k. I reckon he can average a decent amount, like an average of 60, 65. He's making about 100k, 110, 20k. Not a bad option for you, I reckon. Some other guys before I go. I think that is really it. You got Cooper Duff Titler, but he's a rookie. Colton Tholstrup, I reckon he might play quite a bit, just from a non-biased standpoint. Already talked about Philippou, Henry, Max King we've talked about. Is there anyone else? I'm going to say no. That seems like it. All right. Oh my God, there's so many forward options. But that'll do it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on some of the forward options that I've mentioned. Let me know if I've missed anyone and how come you reckon they should be mentioned. We've got so many options for forward of potential money makers. It's really annoying that we've got 8 options, which is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, thanks again for tuning in. Hopefully you guys have a good one. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good rest of your preseason. I'll catch you in the next video. Cheerio. Thank you. Cheers.